Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best HDMI switches.
Starting at number 5.
FERRISA 4x2 HDMI. The FERRISA 4XW HDMI matrix is a bit more complex than other products on this list. It features 4 inputs and 2 outputs, which give users the option to use the device as a switch, a splitter, or a combination of the two. It also includes optical and 3.5mm audio out, making it a more versatile device than a standard splitter. These options do come with caveats. It's more expensive than a standard switch, and those that don't regularly need to output video to 2 different displays won't find a need for the extra features. It's also limited to the same resolution and frame rate on both outputs, so you can only use the splitter functionality on 2 screens with similar specifications. Lastly, if you want 4K at 60Hz, HDR, Dolby Vision, or Atmos support, you'll need to spend a bit more money. This FERRISA HDMI matrix is limited to HDMI 1.4b and maxes out at 4K at 30Hz. This HDMI switcher has been reviewed 962 times and received 4.4 out of 5 stars on Amazon. A reviewer who awarded it 5 out of 5 stars said,
Coming at number 4.
SkycropHD HD0501. This 4x1 switcher from SkycropHD is fully HDMI 2.0 compatible. It accepts and outputs 4K at 60Hz signals with HDR, Dolby Vision, and Dolby Atmos, and supports the full 18 gigabits per second required by the HDMI 2.0 standard. We're unsure what the upgraded in the product name means, but it performed without issues and was one of the better switches on the list. One of our favorite hidden features is that automatic switching can be enabled or disabled by holding the switch button on the unit for 5 seconds. Turning off this function is not available on every switcher on this list, which can be a significant source of frustration. Like many switches on the list, the remote is the weakest point. Its construction is a bit more robust than usual, but it's still best replaced by a universal remote. The product currently has a 4.4 out of 5 rating on Amazon, based on 290 reviews. A reviewer who gave it 4 out of 5 stars said, while the auto switching isn't perfect, it does work with most things.
At number 3.
Univivi 7-port. This 7-input switch from Univivi is one of the more expensive options on our list. Still, it's worth the premium if you have a ton of devices you want to connect to your TV. Because of all the inputs, it's a long device, coming in at 9 inches wide. However, it's still relatively low profile at less than an inch tall, so it'll easily tuck on top of another component without looking out of place. HDR, Dolby Vision, and 4K at 60Hz are all possible with this HDMI 2.0 compatible device. The only mixed bag with the Univivi switch is that it lacks automatic switching. That's great for those who have devices that display issues with auto switching. However, with 7 available ports, it could be frustrating to some to have to change inputs each time manually. This HDMI switcher currently has 4.3 out of 5 rating on Amazon based on 741 reviews. If you plan to hook up any 4K 60Hz with HDMI 2.0 and HDCP 2.2, you need this box, said one reviewer who awarded the product 5 out of 5 stars.
Number 2 of my list.
Fosmon 5-port. The Fosmon 5x1 HDMI 2.0 switch is one of the more unique of its type available. Instead of a long, rectangular, metal body, it takes the form of a small, plastic, black square. While it still needs to be powered via micro USB, it retains the small form factor seen with most unpowered switches. Since this is a smaller switch, especially for a 5x1 model, users must mount an IR sensor via a wire. While this makes for a more complex install process, it also allows you to hide the switch behind your TV or entertainment center, distinguishing it from its peers. The plastic shell means this switch is a bit less durable than some of the other 4K devices on our list, but its compact form factor makes up for it. The remote, of course, is substandard, but as with other switches on this list, you can replace it with something a bit more robust.
And number 1.
TOTU HDMI 4. Cutting through the switcher chaff to find an affordable product that accepts the latest devices is tough, but this 4x1 unit from TOTO fits the bill. It accepts up to 4K at 60 Hz input with HDR or Dolby Vision. It supports an HDMI channel bandwidth of up to 18 gigabits per second, so it'll work with any HDMI 2.0 or older feature. The TOTU has automatic switching, with no option to turn it off. However, this isn't as annoying as it is on some models, as this feature only activates when one input is active. This eliminates issues with some devices that switch inputs even though they didn't receive a legitimate HDMI CEC power-on signal. Unfortunately, though the unit itself is reasonably robust for the price, the remote is horrible. It's a small plastic rectangle that screams to be immediately broken or lost. So, those who purchase the TOTU are best off using a universal remote to control it. Presently, this product has been reviewed 2,157 times and received 4.3 out of 5 stars on Amazon. One who gave this switcher a 5 out of 5 review said,
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.